What's up to my people of the Booge? It's Friday night, it's 7:30, so let's dance!
Yo, 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 ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. Welcome, welcome. It's 7:30, guys. It's 7:30, not 7:29, it's 7:30 on a Friday night at the end of the week. We've made it through another week together, people. It's Friday night. How are we feeling? What's going on? What's the happy apps? Good evening to Steve Martin. Good evening to Trip Trip. What's up to Diz? What's up to Sarah? What's up to Yuri? Mojo Sabian. How you doing, Mojo? C. Clues is in the live chat. Hope we're all good. Let me turn the music down a little bit. Hope we are all wonderful this evening. In good stead. In fine fettle, I believe is the expression, isn't it? Hope you're good. Hope you guys have survived another week. There's lots going on out there, isn't there? In the worlds of news, politics, dystopia, and all things awful here in the formerly Great Britain. Cheers, by the way. Got my obligatory orange, lemon, and pineapple squash tonight. What are you guys on? Got any G&T slurpers in the house? Any craft ale? Swillers? Any people on the vino tonight? Anyone rolling a fat doobie? Anyone, like, how are you self-medicating? How are you managing the chaos and mayhem, or Kayhem, as we brand it on this show, of the modern world? Let me know in the live chat. Hope you're doing good, guys. And thank you so much for joining me. I'm getting very Radio 4 now, aren't I? Thank you so much for joining me this evening for another episode of Aid Thompson and Other Disappointments. Cheers, guys. Hope you're good, though. Hope we're all thriving for another occasion, another invitation from me to you to join me to make sense of the senseless, light of your darkness, and reason with the unreasonable. Quick offer the cap to the Patreons and the YouTube community members, of course. This evening, I see you. I recognise you. I'm noticing. I hope you're in a good place. I hope you're enjoying the content. Can we get me to 80 Patreons and, like, YouTube community people? I've added them together. I'm up to 70. Can we get me to 80 in the next 4 days? Is that possible? Because I don't know if you guys have seen, but I sort of set myself a target. Or a threat, really. I've said, you know, if I don't get to 80 Patreons by October the 1st, I swear to God, now, this is an Aid Thompson price promise. I swear to God, I will cry about it. And the next, 3 episodes of this will just be me sobbing about how, where is this even going? What is it even going to become? Is it even worth it? So help me out. Help me out now. Get me to 80. We've got 4 days to do it. Viewers, listeners, boosters, binfluencers. I saw Hazel Hun rejoined yesterday. What's up, Hazel? Hope you're well. Don't know if she's in the live chat. So only 9 more to go then. 9 spots to go. Now, veteran listeners of the show, viewers of the show, my people of the Booge, my cult members, will be aware that when we started this podcast, way back, it used to be called, like the very first iteration of it, before I binned it and then, rebranded and relaunched it. The first couple of episodes I ever recorded were originally called A Robot Took My Job, which I thought was quite a cool name for a sort of dystopian, futuristic, downbeat, depressing kind of outlook on things. So it used to be called A Robot Took My Job, and the idea was that as dystopia really began to take hold and bite, as automation progressively robbed us of our employment, of our livelihoods, from software to hardware, throughout politics and back out into journalism, gradually the show would become more relevant. Like, it would start off as a sort of fantasy nightmare, right, is what I always talk about when I talk about right-wingers. Their fantasy nightmares that they dream up. It would start off as that, like, wouldn't it be terrible if this happened? Or if this is where democracy and society went? But then as those things inevitably did start to actually be realised, the podcast would benefit from its prescience. You know? It would become, like, people would kind of revere it. It would have seen forward into the future almost. Sort of misery likes company thing, I guess. You know, you have people listening going like, well, you know, I used to be an accountant back in 2022, you know, on 95 grand a year. And now in 2029, I can't afford to feed my kids because ChatGPT does all of that for everybody. People don't need accountants anymore. They just ask a question. It spills out all the forms that I would have used to have filled out for people for money. But at least this guy predicted it, so I will listen to him. You know, at least he predicted, at least he was right about something. At least this guy was screaming it from the rooftops from about 2020. Was my idea, my sort of USP for what this podcast was originally going to be. And then, I don't know, you know, maybe business plan wise, you know, where I saw that going longevity wise, maybe I thought through my own technical redundancy, because I work in tech, I'm very much a sort of white collar worker, I guess you would call us. Through my own technical redundancy, I would be able to what? You know, I'd have this podcast, I'd be able to sell a few ads off the back of it, I suppose. You know, like that was my original dystopian retirement plan, I think, was more ads. Which in itself is just really bleak, isn't it? You know? I mean, what is that in substance? That's like, you know, monetize the Great Depression. Good stuff, mate. Uplifting. So, anyway, the reason that I bring this up is because I want you to listen to something that is not a million miles away from that original area that we were kind of tapping into. Take a listen to this shit.
Are you scared, though, about AI? Because I just had a meeting with a big company, and they're like, we're developing a show, primarily AI. You want to use your voice and your likeness.
Yeah.
In a year from now, it'll be completely...
Well, commercials, photography, you won't need any of it.
None of it.
So I feel bad for them.
Yeah, with robotics and all that stuff. I mean, 5 years, what are people going to do?
I know. You won't need actors.
I know, but when it replaces accountants and all these other jobs, what are people in this country and on this planet gonna do? Oh, showbiz is done.
Well, I don't think it's done.
Look at me right now. It's done.
But there's still so many shows around, so many things being made.
But what I'm saying to you is, okay, I know a guy who's on 2 shows, and they're high profile kind of shows. No one knows his name. You know this town. Go right now. Go on Warner Brothers lot. It's
dead.
Coyotes are walking around. You know what I mean? It's dead.
Like, how wild is that? That's like, you know, like if you come back now out of like where he's talking about like Hollywood and, you know, just AI in general more broad, like we're being told stuff at, you know, Labour presses and AI conferences. There's still over here, like the narrative, the rhetoric that we're being told is like, AI is the future, isn't it? It's going to revolutionize technology. It's going to cure cancer. It's going to augment your vision with menus and And there's going to be gamification for your tedious life to liven it up a bit. You know, it's like how amazing AI is going to be. But it's like, you know, is it even that far in the future anymore? Like, I kind of don't think that it is. It's basically here now, isn't it? And also, it kind of feels like from this and other reports that I've seen, like the downsides of artificial intelligence are going to be felt before anyone actually has a chance to play with any of the upsides. Do you know what I mean? You know, like I reckon the accountants and the lawyers and the programmers, the white-collar workers who are going to get laid off en masse are the people who would have traditionally paid the subscription for the cool, optimum, premium tier products, aren't they? But people are going to get really mad when they see a new advert come out, the new promotional campaign for a Tesla robot, and you can fuck it, and it does all of your housework. Is that thing that Elon Musk was talking about? I don't know if you remember this. It's like maybe 18 months ago, 2 years ago. But that's what he was suggesting that they were going to end up building, was like a full-on AI Tesla robot girlfriend. And he was like, you know, and you can have sex with it and it'll never take the piss out of your weird penis again. Like, this is literally what he said. And everyone was like, that's a weird thing to... Like, who's told you that you had a weird... Is that what this is all about, really? Like, that's what they're planning on doing, is like building, you know, AI Tesla girlfriend robots that you can fuck, which is really just, you know, the sort of Martian incel version of the nerd who invented the fleshlight, really, isn't it? It's just like a slightly more modern version of that same guy trying to solve that same problem. But like, you know, are you supposed to be all G'd up and jazzed about AI and the future when you got laid off 9 months ago and you can't even afford your Netflix subscription? And then the next minute they're like, look at all the cool stuff that's just come out. Look at the premium products. It's like, I can't fucking afford it now. I reckon the mass layoffs of the white-collar workers en masse are going to happen significantly before we get to see any of the cool stuff. I really do. I've got a super chat here. Yuri says, here's some digital currency to add to the robotic AI-driven Aid Thompson Android podcaster. Thank you. That's very kind of you. But yeah. I mean, how depressed would you be, guys? How fucked off would you be if you got laid off and then the cool stuff comes out? You don't even get to play with the cool stuff, you know? It's like the future's not for you. The future's on the premium tier. You're only on the freemium subscription level. You get to look at the future with ads and a timeout. On a paywall. That's what you get. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's like, it's wild. Like the real world impact that we're seeing now and the total obliviousness to it. You know, like I was listening to the Newsagents the other day, the podcast. Newsagents. Emily Maitlis, Lewis Goodall, John Sopel, and Lewis Goodall was doing a dispatch from an AI conference. I don't know if you heard this one. And literally nobody was talking about job losses. In all of the people that he spoke to on the stands at this conference, and they all work for AI companies and machine learning, and none of them were talking about the potential for job losses, the downsides to all of this, and the impact on the economy. You know, all of the vox pops that he got from people at that AI conference, representatives of those companies and corporations, all of them were just like, oh, it'll be great when you can talk to an audio visual representation of your dead father. It's all like weird shit like that. And I was like, are you sure you want that? Is that what people want from AI? Is it? You know, like even if it's on the free tier, even if it's on the freemium subscription and you get to talk to your dead father for only 7 minutes a week, which is actually, for some people and their fathers, that's actually the premium option. It's like, I don't know if I need you more than that. That's fine. But even if you only get to talk to him for 7 minutes a week because you're on the cheapest fucking subscription, and he's passed away, and it's an audio-visual representation of him, of who he used to be and how he used to be. You know, I don't know if I need my fucking dad resurrected back fucking judging me, looking disappointed in me. That I lost my job to a fucking robot and I can't afford to feed my family. When I was your age, I had 2 jobs and 2 houses and all this fucking shit. Turn it off. How do I Alt and F4 my dead dad? My dad isn't dead, by the way. He's still very much alive. You may have seen him on the intro, in fact. But yeah. Imagine that shit. Resurrect your dad as a bot. Resurrect somebody else's dad as your dad, as a bot. Because you don't even miss your dad that much. I actually miss his dad. Can I have his dad? Is that all right? You know. Imagine if you did resurrect your dad and your dad was always like disappointed in you and always kind of looked down on you, and then he sees that you lost your job and you can't afford to make ends meet and stuff, and you sort of fuck around and sign up for a subscription to feel shit about yourself. Like I already have that with the gym app. I don't need another app for that. Another subscription. The weight loss tracker app. So yes, anyway, to go back to the Bobby Lee clip. Entertainment is dead, they reckon. Hollywood is dead. Going through a really difficult time, thanks in no small part to artificial intelligence, to people selling their likenesses. You don't need photographers. You don't need the scene scouts guys and all the rest of it. It's taken off already. It's having a real world impact. I saw a Telegraph piece the other day. I don't know if you guys saw it. I can't remember the journalist now, but the headline, I think, was, if it wasn't exactly this, it's pretty much exactly this. It was like my job interview with an AI recruiter. I said, at least there was no small talk, right? At least there was no small talk with the AI bot recruiter. Which, I mean, you know, I'm not really a fan of small talk in those situations, to be honest, but I don't know, like, wouldn't it make you a bit nervous being so mindful of how AI is going to wipe the floor with the labour market, of how automation is going to render you useless in the economy? Like, wouldn't it make you a bit nervous about joining a company and whether your role would survive the automation bloodbath if already that same company are replacing the people who recruit you with AI recruiter bots? Like, it's kind of it's not a great opening chapter, is it? For your introduction to that company, I don't think. I mean, here's a question for the live chat, guys. Got Timotheus, got Alexa, got Gareth in there. Graham, here's a question for you guys. If you had one job interview over here, right? And an offer, maybe. And then another job interview over here, and then they offer the job to you. You've got 2 offers. Would the guys who are using the soulless AI interviewers, the bots, and they're recording your responses, you don't really have any proper interaction with the business or the people, wouldn't you rather go with the company who was interviewing, who actually invested the time, like, getting to know you? Wouldn't you rather the relationship, you know, kind of know who you're working for? Or is that just me? Is that like, am I being old fashioned? Am I being like a bit, you know, old man shouts at cloud or whatever that meme is? Am I being old-fashioned and out of touch with this? I think if I was going for an interview, I would rather take the job with the company who actually bothered to meet me. No? Let me know in the live chat. We'll come back to it in a bit. Just got to plug my power cable in there. Sorry, not very professional, is it? But yeah, this thing, it said the job market shifts as both applicants and hiring managers wield new technology to their advantage. Because I didn't say this in the article, but the thing that occurred to me after I read it was like, what's to stop candidates from serving AI bot versions of themselves that listen to the interviewer's questions and then send it off to GPT-5 or Grok or whatever? They get the perfect example and serve it back to them. You're going to end up in a weird fucking job market, in a weirder society, where it's basically just two bots interviewing each other, trying to get the best possible responses out of each other. It's like, oh, you're amazing, you're hired. Oh, thank you so much. At some point, these human beings are actually going to have to meet each other and decide if they are like, what problem are we solving here? So yeah, job market shifts as both applicants and hiring managers wield the new technology to their advantage. And here's some stats for you. Always a fan of stats on this show, aren't we? IBM recently replaced 200 of their HR staff with AI agents. I've just got a thumbs down. That's devastating. Not many HR fans in here. No, it's not stimulating content for you. Learning about HR and AI. IBM recently replaced 200 of their HR staff with AI agents, who would be, I guess, listening to people. And, you know, I used to work in HR. I think I've mentioned that before. But typically you'd be, you know, taking statements from people, taking testimony if there's, you know, ongoing cases you have to investigate, from complainants and their complaints, and handling grievances, or, you know, administering final warnings and sitting there with a director as you do it, or, you know, there's a lot of serious stuff goes on in human resources. Like, how bummed out would you be, though? How fucking annoyed would you be if you took a complaint to human resources and you were like, yeah, look, so actually quite upsetting for me to bring this up, but my boss got his dick out at the Christmas party, and it made all of us actually incredibly uncomfortable. I feel really like, you know, threatened, intimidated, uncomfortable. Like I don't really want to work in a same team or company as him. Can you do, like, are you going to take this serious? Right? What would you want from that conversation? You would want someone to be understanding, wouldn't you? You would want them to show and to exercise some compassion. You would want them to listen to you carefully and hear what you said and how you said it and how upset it made you feel. But then instead of that, they just go like, yeah, okay, sit down here in front of the fucking laptop, select the sprite, select the HR bot sprite that you want from this list. You can select empathetic if that's what you need. Or curt and determined if you would rather hear somebody take it really seriously and be really upset about it. Forthright might be another variation. You know, and then you just sit there and it generates an HR bot for you who records the shit that happened to you. Like, is this progress? Is this making things better? If that's how we're handling our HR grievances now? Is it? This is progress. My boss got his dick out and it made us all incredibly uncomfortable. Okay, yeah, just record the thing into the webcam, into the soulless webcam, and the HR bot will smile at you about it. Progress! You know, can't HI replace the director that got his dick out? Like, wouldn't that be a better use of AI replacing jobs and redundancies and all of that? Can't AI play golf all afternoon and not do the helicopter on the dance floor at the Christmas party, doing dick tricks on the dance floor. Can't AI replace that guy? No? No, it's just the HR stuff. Okay, all right. Good stuff. Progress. Another stat, guys. 30% of current US jobs could be fully automated by 2030. 30% by 2030 could be fully automated, while 60% will see significant task level changes due to AI integration, which basically means they will reduce your hours, right? The tasks that they're asking you to do will be significantly changed because the AI does all of the boring repetition. There's not much more for you left to do, so it's, that's where that's headed. 300 million jobs, they say, which is 9% of the global workforce. 9% all over the world is expected to disappear by the end of the decade. And if you're wondering what the plan is to broach that, to handle that, to deal with the automation, the redundancies, the impact on welfare, the taxes. Check this out. The government acknowledges, this is Labour, right? I'll start again. The government acknowledges the potential for... See, this is when you know, actually, that an AI bot of me might be an improvement. That might be progress. Can actually fucking talk properly. And it'd fix my teeth. There you go. The government acknowledges the potential for AI to displace jobs. Oh, well, that's a relief. Okay, good. Baby steps. Studies estimate that between 60,000 and 275,000, quite a big window that, 60,000 and 275,000 jobs could be displaced annually, every year, over the coming decades. However, the government anticipates that these job losses will be offset by the creation of new roles, leading to a net increase in employment in the long term. Right. Okay. So the government's plan at this time, if you didn't fully take that in, the government's plan regarding the near certainty that we will see mass redundancies, an economic labour market bloodbath, the government's plan is to cross its fingers and hope that AI as an industry will require more people with new skill sets than the ones that it chews up and spits out, right? That's their plan. Just cross your fingers and fucking pray. This is from The Guardian. Let me read this to you. While some studies predict that AI will create new jobs, others express concern that the pace of automation may outstrip, chew up and spit out, may outstrip the creation of the new roles. There you go. I think Oxford did one of these studies. So this discrepancy raises questions about the government's assumption that job losses will be fully offset by the new opportunities, because they won't be. They won't be. AI is just going to, it's going to offer robots. It's going to offer logistics people. You're going to have self-driving lorries, self-driving taxis, Deliveroo bots, drones that take your Uber Eats stuff to you. Not all of these people are going to become Python developers. And by the time that they have retrained to become Python developers, you'll have AI bot Python developers that develop the Python code for themselves. It's not going to pair up. It's not going to work out, guys. Anyway, yes, nice cheery story there. Oh my God, I forgot to actually plug in the power. What a bell end. Here we go. Hopefully that actually charges now. I'll feel like a massive twazzock if I'm drinking in too much juice for it to charge all of the equipment I've got. So if I randomly go offline, if I disappear, you know what's up. Right, so what else has been happening? What else has been going on, people? People in the live chat, people watching later, drop me a comment. What have your favourite stories of the week been? Peeps. I guess we should talk a little bit about the news from the last few days. Keir Starmer's ID card policy was spoken about this morning. He gave a big speech about it. Not everyone was thrilled. In fact, the very prominent Twitter account, Essex-PR, I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's a guy called Adam Brooks. He's on GB News, as I understand it, every now and then. Well, he doesn't like it. He doesn't like these ID cards. It's state overreach. It's people control. Controlling your population. Darren Grimes doesn't like it. He doesn't like the ID cards either, guys. It's people control. It's state overreach. Sarah Potchin. She's another reform bod. One of the MPs. She's not a fan. Doesn't like ID cards. Who else? Martin Daubney, another GB News guy. You get the idea. So they're of a similar ilk, aren't they? They're all either GB News people or Reform UK people. All of them hate the ID cards. All of them are on record previously supporting ID cards back when it was the Tories. I wish I could say I was surprised. I mean, it's not. It doesn't ever surprise me now. The flip, the U-turn, the tribalism, you know? But this is what I mean when I say it's not even about telling the truth for these people. You know, it's not even about being consistent or exhibiting shame when you're called out for being a hypocrite. It's not about any of that. It's about saying what needs to be said at that moment. It's delivering the message, whatever that might be, as a means to foment a narrative. That's all it is. It's the rich are leaving. No, they're not. I don't care. It foments, it perpetuates the narrative that Labour are hopeless. Labour are terrible stewards of the economy. So I will continue to say it, even though it's been disproven and debunked a million times. More migrants are criminals than regular white people. No, they're not. That's another stat. That's another study from the Centre of Migration Control. It's been debunked. It's been dismissed. You shouldn't keep saying it. You make yourself look stupid. They don't care. They don't care. It's not about facts or stats or the truth or reality. It's not about being embarrassed for being called out as being a hypocrite. It's about perpetuating and fomenting a narrative that day, for that week, for that month, in a build-up, eventually to the general election. Doesn't matter if it's debanking or 5G or chemtrails or 3 million in attendance at the march the other week. It's not about what's true or caring about hypocrisy. It's about what is the line that can sell the narrative. Guys, and today's one is that the ID cards are part of a creeping surveillance state. Whoa. I'm not kidding about the U-turns, by the way. The about turns on their stances. This is Martin Daubney in 2020. This is a direct quote from 4.5 years ago. He says, "Libertarians will be against the new digital ID cards for British citizens, but I approve. The ability to monitor immigration status and most vitally stop widespread voter fraud are too big to ignore." He said voter fraud was never widespread. Incidentally, I don't know why he's saying that or why he was saying it. It's absolute rubbish. Not a thing happening in that regard. But he says libertarians will be against it, but I approve. Darren Grimes, friend of the show, Grimes said in 2022, "I'm afraid I think we do need ID cards. It's an issue of national security." Adam Brooks, Essex-PR, he said in 2019, everyone should have an ID card. Why are the left so against it? And now, today, every single one of them is now anti this policy this morning just because it's got a red tie wrapped around it. That's all it is. It's so transparent and childish and tribalist, isn't it? Elsewhere in reform land, let's stay with reform for a bit. Elsewhere in Reformville, they're all getting very excited about a new poll that was published this morning, suggesting that they're on course to win the next election. I don't know if you guys saw that. I think it was it More in Common that published theirs yesterday? Somebody in the live chat can correct me. I think More in Common did one of the less well-known ones anyway. More in Common, probably, and then YouGov. It was definitely YouGov this morning, saying that Reform are on course to form the next government if the events of today lead into tomorrow and next year and whatever else, right? So that's nice for them. You know, that's good news if you're a reformer, a fan of keeping up with the Faragians, is what we refer to them. But I think there's a poll of polls. This might, cheer you up a little if you're not a fan of Nige and Richard Tice and so on. There's a poll of polls that factors in all of the main polling companies. Dan Hodges was talking about this earlier. He's a Mail on Sunday journalist, right? So is it in his interest to talk shit about the right? Probably not. He's been known to land a good point. Many, many other times he's been known to completely disappear into the lands of Bedlam. But, on this, what's the saying about a stopped clock? Is right twice? Right. On this, he says there's a poll of polls that factor in a lot of the stuff from the other major polling companies, but also that they factor in how angry people are when they are asked to contribute to a poll. Like if they phone you up and they say, or you fill in a survey, like who do you want to put your support down for in the focus groups for the poll? Quite often people go like, yeah, I'll vote for Nige. Make sure you put down one for Nige, even though when you actually get closer to a general election and things start to settle and people are forced to kind of think more about who they would actually vote for, tactically or tribally, a lot of the time those same people kind of fall back into more traditional party trenches. So once you factor that stuff in, apparently we bring it down from something like a 15 or 17 point lead right down to an 11 point lead. So it's still not nothing, right? They're still significantly in the head. Still pretty alarming. That you've got 11 points ahead. The people are out there thinking that a bunch of anti-vax, glitter-jiving, swan-eating conspiracy theorists are the answer to Britain's problems. I mean, I still despair. I really do. It's still worrying. But I mean, what are the problems in your head? What are the problems that you think we are all facing in Britain? Like, I think Reform fans, Farage fans, I think they're all drunk on racism and fantasy nightmares and conspiracy theories where they think they're being invaded. They truly think there's an invasion going on the South Coast. But if they think, if you're watching or listening to this, if you think that's all real, fine, right? But why? Here's my question for you. Why would you think this bunch of Dad's Army does the Eurovision Song Contest fucking idiots over here are the ones to fix it? Why do you think they're the guys with the answers to your problems? But that's truly what I see when I look at Reform these days. Is a bunch of pub bore racists and then ostentatious Sarah Potchin and Andrea Jenkins types, Like, what is that the solution to? What is that? To Britain's problems? Is it really that? Wow. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I knew that, problems-wise, I knew that we had an aging population and the housing crisis. I wasn't aware that Britain was facing an end-of-the-pier talent show and a stars in their eyes clap off. I wasn't sure that was the problem we were trying to solve. Clearly, I was misinformed. Speaking of tribute acts, though, and end of the peer rubbish, did you guys see Barry George in the news today? Barry George, guys. Formerly a Freddie Mercury impersonator. Possibly a future Reform UK candidate. I mean, I don't could be, couldn't he? I mean, they will say that he won't be, obviously. But all it would take is a guy in a red tie to say it's a bad idea, and suddenly Reform would be on board with it. That's all it takes, seemingly. Barry George, no, seriously. Barry George, former Freddie Mercury impersonator, formerly best known for being incorrectly accused of the murder of Jill Dando. Pretty much his showbiz peak, to be honest. That was. Well, he's been arrested and charged with rape and indecent assault yesterday, I gather it was, or maybe it was today. It's according to The Sun and The Guardian, so that's all a bit weird, isn't it? Barry George, acquitted of Jill Dando's murder, now arrested for this stuff. Cleared of the Dando killing, and a few years later charged with something else. But not the actual thing that we kind of think of when we think his name. You know, a new thing, but still going behind. But like, he's sort of kind of like a shit British version of OJ, isn't he? He's sort of like our OJ Simpson, I think. It's like we're like, he may well have done it, though. He might have done it. And then years later, it's like, you're arrested. You're going down, son. It's like, well, the right thing for the wrong reasons sort of territory, maybe. What was the other story? There was one more story I wanted to touch on tonight. Oh, I've just realised I've got another super chat. Let's quickly jump up to that, shall we? Where's that gone? Disappeared. Mother. Could have sworn I saw it there. Oh, here we go. Captain Coconut says, Reform UK spout fear and hate, and only cowards fall for it. Yeah, I mean, look, we know this stuff, don't we? We know this. We're all cool, aren't we, on this channel, on this live stream? We know the deal. But it's almost like, how do you de-radicalise, like, your great uncle or whatever when you go into, you know, the British Legion, or you bump into them at a wedding and they start banging on about boats? How do you de-radicalise your great Uncle Paul? There's not really an invasion, Paul. You youngsters, you bloody whippersnappers. I've lived through it. I've had my liberal phase, like you. When you get to my age, you just realise that you've had enough. It's like that sort of stuff. How do you talk him down? You know? Where's the Valium for Uncle Paul? Or do you just get grandma? Do you get great auntie Phyllis or whatever and say, like, Uncle Paul's talking, he's been a bit weird again, you know? Has he had his meds, Phyllis? Is that how you handle them? Ivan Ambrose has just dropped a super chat. Where's that? The latest YouGov MRP suggests a hung parliament with Reform as the largest party. It's an improvement to poll after poll saying Reform would win a landslide. Labour must not stop delivering. Yeah, I think this was the one. I sort of went off topic a little bit there with Dan Hodges, but I think he mentioned about that later on today, or maybe I missed it. But I'm sure he was saying something like it's not enough for them to secure a majority. So all of this stuff that they're coming out with really is PR. It's like promotion. It's like top story on Sky News. Reform would win an election, according to this poll. But yeah, you could well be right. Dan Hodges could well be right. I hope, like, if they have to win the election, I think the best case scenario with that would be a hung parliament, and they are forced to form a coalition. But then, do you know what? Like, they would have to do it with the Tories, wouldn't they? They would be so ideologically close to the Tories by that point. it's basically the same, isn't it? As if they won like the full majority. So fuck my entire life, clearly. Oh, I know what I was going to talk to you guys about. Let's get into it. So the other story I wanted to touch on tonight was Tony Blair. Guys, Tony Blair is being backed by the White House, by Donald Trump, no less, to be... I had to check this wasn't an article in The Onion, because it just seems so outrageously, like, satirical, unlikely, you know, where you have to do a double take. You're like, oh, this happening. It's real. Okay. Tony Blair is being backed by the White House to be interim leader of Gaza. I've just got another thumbs down, just as I'm talking about Tony Blair. Is that a reflection of Tony Blair? Or of me talking about Tony Blair? We don't want to hear this shit, Aid. Why you got to bring his name into the podcast? We're having fun taking a piss out of ID cards. And you got to bring his... I can't even say his name. But yes, he's being backed by the White House to be interim leader of Gaza, which is... I mean, could you have thought of a worse person for that job? Could you really have thought of a worse candidate? Did the AI bots interview other candidates? Since this is a problem with HR AI bots. Who else was on the list? Who could possibly be a worse person to install into the Middle East as an ill-fitting, tainted Western leader at a time when the conversation is almost entirely around land grabs and Western nations ploughing into Muslim territories and mass killings? Like, who could you think that would be worse than Tony Blair as a candidate there? You know, who didn't make the cut? Who was crossed off the list? You know, like, oh yeah, you know, sorry about the genocide, the slayings of the Muslims, and you know, us measuring up the real estate about what the fuck we're going to do with all of this cushy land, this beachfront land. Sorry about all of that, but to ensure peace and stability through this difficult transition, we thought the guy who ignored the UN before and ploughed into those other fucking places and slayed all the Muslims, we thought, you know, maybe he could be the mediator. Now, maybe he's got some thoughts to contribute. He's got some ideas, guys. You won't believe how well-versed, well-educated, and experienced his ideas are. He wants to bring in Halliburton, does he? Okay, yeah, see, good ideas. Progress! Guys, he's the fucking mediator now. Tony Blair, our formerly incredibly successful Middle East peace envoy, whatever the fuck that job. What was the job that they gave him after he went ploughing into 2 Middle Eastern countries, gutted them, fucking killed tens of thousands of people based on faulty evidence? And then after it all, they're like, would you like to be the peace envoy? Would you like to be a Middle Eastern beacon mascot of peace? Would you? Can't think of anybody better. I can't think of a better job for you, Tony. I mean, you know, maybe leader of Gaza in a few years if you play your cards right. If you do well at this, we'll put you forward for Gaza leader, if that should ever erupt. So yeah, Tony Blair is going to be the mediator now in this totally reasonable and sane world that we're stuck on. I mean, that is like what? That's like you go cap in hand to your bank because they jacked up the interest rates. And you go, oh, I guess my finances kind of, ran away a little bit, I guess I kind of didn't manage my money a little bit. I may need some help. I need some help with my finances, with my debts. Please, can I help you? Oh, God bless you, sir. Please, can I help you? With your cap in your hand. And then you turn around to your left and they've appointed you a debt counsellor. And it's Sir Fred Goodwin. Like, that's who it is. Wouldn't you be like, what the fuck? You caused all of this. I don't think you're the best suited candidate for this one, Sir Fred. I don't know. Someone can do it. Someone can give me a hand. But not you. Not you. Fred. Tony Blair as leader of Gaza through this difficult transition. I mean, the only person who would be a worse candidate for that job is Benjamin Netanyahu himself. I mean, it really is. It's like, that's how ridiculous. That is the tier, the premium tier of ridiculousness. This is. It is almost the same exact eyeball. Like, Tony Blair is going to be the leader of Gaza. He's going to be the mediator through this transition. It's like, oh, God. It's the same eyeball roll back into my skull. Where you're almost tempted to follow your own eyeball roll. Eye roll, that's what I'm trying to say. You're almost tempted to follow your own eye roll out of the room because you just don't want to be in this conversation anymore. It's the same eye roll when somebody says Tony Blair's going to be the Gaza leader as if they said Netanyahu. I mean, it really is in like, arsonist comes back to give you a fire safety talk. Kind of like a reader. It's just like, well, what you want to do is like, no, you're not quite. In some senses, you are very qualified, sir. But no, I'm not listening to you on this. A barbecue, maybe, but not this. So yes, they are going to put Tony Blair in charge of Gaza. Guys. Are we all feeling G'd up about that? Irony is dead. Satire is dead. Hopelessness and dystopia are thriving. He's going to go in there. I wonder when that's going to happen. When's that going to start? Has he actually got the job? Have they given him the job? Has he survived the HR AI interview bot process? Has he? How long have we got until he goes in? To manage the transition. All of it just bombed out, just rubble now. Hundreds of thousands dead. And there won't be any economy, of course. When he arrives, there won't be any hope. There won't even be jobs. Certainly not once the robots come in. But there will be ID cards, guys. Right, that's it. That's okay. I think we'll wrap it up there, shall we? Guys, thank you so much, so much for joining me this evening here for the Friday Night Live show. I will be back next week for a couple of paper reviews. I'm sort of winding them down a little bit because I want to put more emphasis and time and energy into doing the Far Right Watch videos. If you've not checked out the Far Right Watch videos yet, please do go give them a look. They're usually about 15 to 20 minutes long. But it's much better, like it's, nicely edited. There's a lot of research that goes into it. And I think, I don't know, obviously I'm somewhat biased, but I think they're pretty good. So, and they're doing quite well. So go and check one of those out. If you're not on the Patreon yet, I am desperately trying to get to 80 Patreons by the end of the month. And that is only like 4 days away, guys. It's the 26th of September now, at time of recording. So 27, 28, 29, 30, then first. Sort of 5 days away, isn't it? But yes, if you're in the position to join the Patreon or the channel, because YouTube also offer this now, then do consider jumping on it. It starts at literally £1 a month is the cheapest. I mean, you don't really get anything for that. It's just you saying, thanks. Thanks for the content aid. But if you could go up, you know how it works, man. God damn it. You get more. You get more benefits and stuff and things if you go on the £3 tier or the £5 tier or whatever. And yeah, that's it for this one. I don't know if I'm going to stay around for a lock-in tonight because I've got some new neighbours next door and I don't want to be out here late making a load of racket while they're still sort of settling in. So I'm going to knock it on the head here, but I will be back next week, as I've said. And until next time, keep it booge, keep it Bimfluencer, and we are out this mother. All right, see you later, guys. Bye.